It can be silly, baby, because you not even finna.
You deserve it. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are on this beautiful, gorgeous planet. Happy Earth Month. It is April. It is April. It is spring. The sun is shining. The flowers are blooming. Well, that's what's happening where I'm at. Welcome to Whole Soul Living. Listen, if you aren't new here, thank you so much. Welcome back to this channel. If you are new here, we talk about spirituality, self-development, mind, body, spirit, wellness, and holistic healing and collective communal healing. This is a space where we come, we heal together, we talk about things that allow us and help us to get to the space where we can nurture our soul and discover our true life's purpose. Today, I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my experience, my heart, and that is yoga. What is yoga, right? And also, I want to give you 3 tips on how to practice yoga or some things to be mindful of when you're practicing yoga. So I know in our culture, in our society lately, the yoga was yoga. Yoga, y'all. You know, I'm from the South. That's how we do. So the reason why we know about yoga is because of these philosophers, because of these folks who were called to bring the beautiful gift of yoga to the West. And I know we hear the word yoga all the time. We think about the poses, right? We think about yoga in terms of how it is portrayed in our Western society. But a lot of us maybe don't really know exactly what yoga is. So the word yoga, let's break that down. The word yoga comes from the Sanskrit root word yuj, which means to yoke, to connect, to bring together. Yoga means union. I think that union symbolizes the union of the mind, the body, and the spirit, right? To one alignment with the mind, body, and spirit. It can mean the union to the body of the breath. It can mean the union of your higher self to your lower self to your higher self. It can mean the union of light and dark that exists in us. It can mean the union to the self and the divine. It means union of our true nature, right? That we sometimes don't always have contact with, or we might have lost touch with the true nature. But yoga seeks to bring the mind, body, and spirit back into harmony with our true nature. It is a psychophysical process that opens up the mind and the body to healing, right? So not only is yoga physical, and we're going to even get into the fact that the physical part of yoga, which is the asanas, is just one piece of yoga. There are so many different ways to do yoga, right? To understand yoga, to achieve yoga. There's 8 different limbs, right, that we call it in the philosophy of yoga that I'll explain in another video. What we want to speak to here is the psychological aspect of yoga that we don't always talk about, right? But it's a psychophysical process that opens the body up, opens the mind up to healing. It also awakens the energy in the mind and the body, and it generates movement. So sometimes we have stuck energy in our body, and yoga is such a beautiful way to allow us to become aware of the energies that exist in our bodies. And so it unsticks stuck movements, it unsticks stuck energy so that it can flow through our body. And movement creates transformation. So we're not exactly sure where yoga originated from. There are so many different branches of yoga throughout the world, right? But of course, we can trace a lot of its origins back to India. The word yoga was first heard in the Vedic scriptures called the Rig Veda. From that point, we were introduced to the Bhagavad Gita, which is like the Bible of yoga, right? It tells us the story, the journey of yoga through a beautiful illustration. In the Bhagavad Gita, it talks about 3 different paths to yoga. The first path is bhakti yoga. This is the path of love. This is the path of pure love, the pure devotion and dedication to the journey of yoga. This is the path of the heart. The second path is Jnana Yoga, which is the path to intellect, the path to understanding yoga through self-study, through knowledge, and through wisdom. The third path is Karma Yoga. This is the path of work. This is the path of devoting yourself fully to your life's purpose. So it's selfless service action. To me, the purpose of yoga is to deepen your relationship to the mind, to the body, and the breath. It expands our consciousness and gives us an opportunity to transform. It gives us a chance to ask a fundamental question: who am I? So, if I can give you 3 tips to practice yoga, 3 things to be mindful of, I would say these 3 things. Number 1, become aware of the difference between pain and intensity. Pain is psychological and it's physical. So when you experience pain in any stretches or poses, then there's this fear. There's this fear, usually fear, that feeling of injury in your mind, and you feel the physical symptoms in your body as well. You don't want to be there, you don't feel good about being there, and you wish to escape the pose. That is when you know that you're experiencing pain, because it's a judgment of discomfort, right? There's a judgment of something is wrong. I always describe intensity as this: oh, it hurts so good. And it doesn't hurt, but it's just this, it's a sensual feeling that your body is generating energy, right? And there's intensity of energy, but it doesn't necessarily feel painful. And we all have different thresholds of what is painful and intensity, and sometimes there's a very fine line. So we have to be mindful of what feels good for us in our body, because sometimes we're not going to be able to go as deep in stretches as we did the day before, because maybe today what was intensity yesterday could feel like pain. So it's just being conscious of those things when we're in our stretches. Understand your edge in your poses. So whenever we initially go into a pose, whether you're a beginner, whether you've been in it for a while or advanced, we're always going to be met with an edge. So the edge is representative of your first piece of resistance you feel when you enter into a pose. So my muscles will only go so far. That is my edge, right? So we have maximum edges and we have minimum edges. And so when we respect our edge, when we play our edge, we allow the body to naturally push past its limits. And I know a lot of times, especially when we're working out, intense workouts, for example, we're being called to push past those limits. We're being called to realize that the growth starts when we push past our limits, when we're trying to gain muscle, right? When we're trying to tone our bodies, when we're trying to get in shape, right? Or trying to lose weight. The success of that process starts when we push past those limits. But yoga is a different kind of journey. It is allowing ourselves to respect our limits in our bodies and knowing when to play those edges and allow the body to just naturally push past those limits. The goal of playing your edge is to take the path of least resistance. 3rd tip, focus on the breath. The prana. The life force energy. The breath is the bridge. So when we allow our breath to guide our movements, we notice how relaxed we become, right? Because the breath allows us to deepen the stretch and relax the body at the same time. When we are utilizing our breath in yoga, this is true yoga. This is true connection for the mind, the body, and the breath. The breath allows us to find the balance between control and surrender. And essentially, that's what yoga is. It's all about learning the balance between what to give and what to keep, right? What to control and what to surrender, what to resist and what to not resist, what to let go of and what to hold on to. It's the union, it's the bridging between 2 opposing things. So yeah, I hope these tips really helped you, and I hope that you got a better understanding of what yoga is, even though we probably hear it all the time in conversations on social media, right, and on the internet. But really what it means is to have union, to develop a deeper connection with yourself, with your mind, your body, and your spirit, so that you begin to see the transformation that can take place if we allow it. So thank you so much for watching this video. Again, please subscribe, share, like, comment, post, whatever you need to do to get this out if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel as well. And I will see you all next time. Bye.
You are divine, and you will find that you were meant to return to self and get to know you.